Hey guys, so we are live on cat analysis slot 3 and this is detailed analysis. So we are going to talk about that what kind of paper we had and what were the questions that were asked. So I think in my opinion this is the worst paper I have written over the period of time. I think 23 was better as compared to this one. GB, what's your take?
Oh,
So I
मतलब
I after
you know
writing this paper, so
मेरे
basically this
पास
is the first. Huh.
so I've actually had time. I've had close to what almost 10 hours to get over this paper. Uh, I'm still trying.
Oh,
I'm still trying to get over it. But there are two things that I would add. Okay, which is number one, we've always stated this. If you see a difficult paper, if you're one of those who has gone in and prepared, you should be happy. And number two,
great.
written enough number of mocks and you weren't thinking that CDC pros which were slightly difficult were not as per CAT standard and were not complaining that they were as not as per CAT standard and had gone through them seriously, and you knew that CAT can give you anything. If you had gone through the last 4 5 years ka papers, then you would not have been shocked and you would have been able to choose better. If you did these two things, you would probably be on the side of positivity today. You might be scoring 65, 70, 75 plus, and you might end up with a decent percentile because of that, because we feel 65 70 पे बहुत प्यार से 95 आ जाएगा, maybe close to 80 पे 99 आ जाएगा. So there is a good chance that you will end up getting that, but only if you did these two. And I stated this in the morning slot as well. Please don't go ahead and ever state next time कि ये जो आपका mock है is not CAT standard. I hope CAT has given you a good understanding of there is nothing called CAT standard.
That's
The
right.
standard keeps changing.
And GB, I'll tell you one thing that why people were saying that it is not CAT standard because they were taking the baseline as 2024.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
2024 and 2024 actually was the outlier of the data. The standard, it never happened 2024. The paper similar to 2024 has never appeared, so we knew that it is going to be more difficult than 2024, but we didn't know that it is going to be that difficult. So
Yeah, so if I were to follow Zix, what Zix is saying, that CDC prepared me last year, I didn't take it. This year I did, and it helped me a lot. And I think it would have happened with a few others as well. If you took the CDC Pro seriously, yes, there were mocks where you would have scored a 99 at 100, but there were also mocks where you would have scored a 99 at 75. And that is what the CDC Pros were designed to do. And I hope that this is something that you've gone ahead and utilized and something that helped you. The objective behind the mocks is that, and that's the whole point. With respect to CAT, I'm still overcoming it. It has been the last time this happened with me was 2016. At that point in time, there used to be 32 questions in DILR and it used to be a 1 hour slot. It took me roughly around 23 24 minutes before I was able to attempt one question there because my set selection wasn't right. Today was even worse. 18 minutes into it, I had not attempted anything. 18 minutes into DILR, I had attempted nothing because the first two sets which I picked up were wrong sets to pick up. So we've stated this a number of times, even when we do analysis and when we teach, that even we make errors. And this is exactly that. My choice selection, my set selection wasn't the best. So even I made an error. There is supposedly in slot one there was a set जिसमें there was one or two words which I have missed as well. So even we make errors. So it's okay, no big deal. You need to overcome what has happened. Listen to what we state today. Listen to what we state. Listen to the analysis. Be okay even if you've scored, even if you attempted 4 questions in DILR, sectional हो सकता है. Even if you
yeah,
attempted 4 questions in Quant, sectional हो सकता है. So be
easily.
okay with it. Be okay with it. And then when you go to sleep tonight and get up tomorrow morning, forget cat happened.
No,
Forget it. Focus
true,
on
true.
NMAT, focus on Snap, focus on that. just move ahead. Okay. Having said that, let's officially get into
And
slot 3.
this thing, I'll tell you one thing that a lot of students has told me don't attempt any question. So I had the one. I have decided this that if I'm going above 18 attempts, I'm going to mark the answers. If I'm going below 18 questions, I won't mark the answers. So basically, this time I didn't even reach. I think 18 is I couldn't do it. In 2013, 2023, I attempted 16 questions. Uh, Today I matched that number 16 questions, but I in the last 1 minute I was just removing all my answers, so I think I have removed 7 8 answers. So the try to understand them. I am fast, I am accurate, and still then I couldn't 18 questions. I ended up I think 16ish questions in this paper. So basically in my opinion I would say 8 to 9 questions were easy, doable, and even if you calculate you will get the answer. In few questions there was some problem that I faced, and that was like I was solving the question and I was making equations. I was not even options using options and all. I was actually solving the question, and in the last line my answers were not matching. And after the paper I have talked to few people, they said I solved everything. My final answer is different than the options that are given. So these kind of things happened in today's exam. So I don't know what was the paper. And as GB has said rightly, that even if you are doing 4 right, more likely you can hit the your 80 85
Sectionals.
percentile sectional, definitely in LR as well, in QA as well.
Yeah.
In and in today's third slot, anyone who did not attempt that DI set is more or less screwed,
So
because those
let's get into it, Shashank. Maybe we start off with Quant. We are having two streams going right now. There is a Hinglish, which is Hindi plus English stream going on, जहाँ पे verbal से शुरू कर रहे हैं. Here, this is an English stream. We are going to start with Quant. Shashank, because he's attempted so many, I hope he remembers his Quant questions and he can discuss a few answers here, which will help you all. Just one caveat: a lot of you all here from slot 1 and slot 2, we will not talk about 1 and 2 right now. Okay, we will talk about slot 1 and 2 in the
slot
overall
two.
comprehensive analysis that happens at 9:30. Today, right now, we will only talk about slot 3 and focus on that. So maybe we can start off with Quant. Shashank, we'll come back to verbal later. I think we might have Siddharth, who will join us later, who will then go ahead and do verbal. But maybe you can start with Quant. If you just go ahead and start with Quant,
True.
there's a
So
slide there. Aage.
basically, GB, few people are saying that Shashank sir has rahe hain and this that. Trust me, beta. There are two things. One is called Khushi ke Aansu. Second is called Gham ki Hansi. So this is actually Gham ki Hansi. So if you think you are screwed, trust me, everyone is screwed. So if everyone is screwed, then I think no one is screwed.
और
So
यही बात थी. I had posted it in all groups yesterday as well. Please ensure when you go into CAT, if you are unable to solve something, ये सोचो nobody is able to solve it. And I hope you actually used it. Even 20-25 minutes into it, if you would have just felt nobody is able to solve it, can I do 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 questions over the next 15-20 minutes? It will suffice. So let's start here. Shashank, maybe let's start with Quant. And all the questions that you remember, maybe just give the context की अच्छा hexagon का question था, ये था और answer ये था, rather than getting into solutions and all, which we can do later.
So basically, we had 2-digit based questions, one calculation based. Total number of questions are 3. This is doable. Log 1 question, that was tricky one. Log. So basically, in log question, that is log of base of x minus 3 and something that is given. The answer for that is, a lot of people has marked the answer as 3. The answer is not 3. It is 3 plus root 3 33 by 2. That was the first option. So
Which question is this, Shashank? Which question? This
the
one?
log ones. The log one.
Log 1. So 3 plus root 33 by 2. Guys, जिन्होंने ये किया,
That was the answer.
those who did it, do put it in the chat box now. Now we are discussing the questions, we are discussing the answers, so we need to hear from you all. Did anybody attempt this question? Correct. एक गलत हो गया, correct आ गया है. Parth has gone ahead and approved. He said you are correct. Khushi, Anurag, okay. One question done. Okay, let's continue.
हाँ.
So
So
as you are getting questions right ना, अपने पॉकेट में 3 मार्क्स डालते रहो और दिमाग को बोलते रहो, आई एम गेटिंग क्लोज एंड क्लोजर टू द कट ऑफ, मे बी टू 90, मे बी टू 95, मे बी टू 99. प्लीज डोंट वरी टू मच. या शशांक.
and there was another question, 10 power 25, 10 power 50 plus 10 power 25 and something, that minus 123, something like that. The answer for that question is 221.
What are the questions?
So
Sum of digits निकालना था क्या?
some of the digits was there.
221. Oh, sum of digits. Wow.
Sum of digits. So that was 221. So I think that was easy. There was a question I can remember that there were three groups. The group A part, that was, yes, that was 2 3 5 की power match करनी थी उसमें. The answer for that question is where uh, uh, 12 power something is given, 20 power something is given and something like that. So answer for that particular question was 112. And Miraj, the answer is 112. Fine. So uh, there was a question that there is a group A, there is a group B, there is a group C. So in group A there are 4 people and they are finishing the job in some hour. There in group B certain people are there, they are solving the work, finishing the work in this many hours. In group C there are certain number of people, there are the people are finishing the job in certain number of hours. You know that question, right? The answer for that question was 2. That time and work wala.
Okay.
The 4:9:36 wale ka answer, I think it was 73 minutes. Parth, I would say that question was not lengthy. It was very easy. 4:9:36 wale ka jo answer tha, that was, I think, that was 73 minutes. So answer for that is 73. So you any question that you can think of, do let me know. I'll if I have solved that question, I'll give you the answer of that particular question. And there was one question jahan pe there is a triangle, 3 sides are 50, 50 and 80, and the question is asking what is the sum of all the perpendiculars. So answer of that particular question is 126.
126.
मिराज, जो एवरेज वाला क्वेश्चन था कि 5 managers and there were 5 managers, 25 engineers, average salary was something something something. So basically, and the average salary of engineers increased by 20%, sorry, managers increased by 20%. So the answer of that question is 54,000, and that is also right. There was a question जिसका answer 444 था. Yes, that was there. Time and speed, that is actually 7.4 into 60. So that is 444. Yes, the answer of that question was 444. I actually calculated and got the whole answer. Parth, which profit and loss wala? Can you give me a brief? I'm not sure I have solved that particular question or not. Pipe and cisterns, I have missed out on a couple of questions in the exam. I couldn't see those questions. So 10 power 50. Atul, I have already answered that particular question. The answer of that particular question is 221. So coins wala, which one? Mix allegation wale ka answer, I don't remember the answer of that particular question. Set theory wale ka 35 tha. AP wale ka, I think it was 65. जो AP वाला था, the answer of that AP वाला was 65. Parth, I didn't solve that
So
question.
I want to ask students, do you still want us to go ahead and keep sharing? I see some of you all are dropping off, some of you बोल रहे sir क्यों कर रहे हो, क्यों कर रहे हो? So do you want us to keep sharing the answers? Yes, no. डर के आगे जीत है, you know, Mountain Dew. So waiting to hear before we continue. We don't want you all to drop off. We don't want you all to be too worried. The objective is to help you all make better decisions. So do you want us to continue with the answers? If yes, please write. So Greshi Ranjan is saying no. Parth is saying yes. Pratham is saying yes.
So we should stop sharing the answers.
So we're just trying to understand कि करे ना करे. because people are getting a little worried, it seems. We're down, in terms of number of people as well. So we want to hear whether you want us to share or not. देखो यहाँ पे क्वेश्चंस आई जा रहे हैं, स्टूडेंट्स आर राइटिंग मोर एंड मोर क्वेश्चंस नाउ शशांक इन द चैट बॉक्स कि ये वाला भी बता दो, ये वाला भी बता दो. ये नहीं कोई बता रहा कि बताना है कि नहीं बताना है. Yes, yes. Okay, let's continue. Do go ahead, and like the stream, guys. If you want us to go ahead and keep discussing, no, an overall discussion is better as per my view for Siddharth. What we'll do is then maybe Shashank, let's not overdo it. Let's do basic level. Maybe just 3-4 more questions, give an overview of how Quant well. But I see a lot of yeses as well. So yeah, let's go by democracy. Let's give a brief overview ki wo kaisa tha, rather than getting into the how. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not getting into how we have solved the question.
Yeah.
There are chances a couple of my answers might be wrong as well. So 30 liter alcohols, 30 liter water. I didn't solve this question till the end, but I think someone told me the answer of this question is, I think 16ish something. I don't know what exact answer is. So I won't say that was the answer. Apart from that, the maximum minima was 35 that I solved it. 3 altitude, I already told you that. What else? Profit and loss, Pratham, I didn't solve the question, so I don't know. Triangle A length, I think that was 16. I solved it, got the answer is 16, but I still think that my answer might be wrong. But I after my calculation, it came out to be 16. So Krish, sum of roots, I think that was my first question. In log, there was a question of sum of roots. The answer was 3 plus root 33 by 2. And there was another question. Ansh, that question I didn't solve. I don't know what was the answer. Science, art, commerce wala, I think the answer was 35. And pipes and cistern, I'm not sure the answer I have seen. Time and work, additional men C required, and that is answer is 2.
Cool. I think a brief overview has been given. Couple of things I think which are interesting is this year number systems has surely made a comeback. I think we've seen that in all 3 slots. Last couple of years, ek do question ही आ रहे थे. This year 3 to 4 it has gone up to. So, but the good part is absolute basic concept. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि वो लोग ने कुछ factorial पूछ लिया है, remainder पूछ लिया है, ये सब या base system पूछ लिया. Absolute basic understanding of classification of numbers. Number of factors पे मैंने questions देखे हैं. It came in slot 1 and slot 2. Did you get any question on number of factors in slot 3, Shashank?
No.
Okay. So slot 1 number of factors did come. Number system, as we can see, 3 the. So number system categorically has been there. We have also seen permutation and combination in slot 1 and 2. I think in slot 3 permutation combination नहीं आया, set theory आया. So modern math से वो एक question आया है, but PNC was there. So if I'm looking at it from that perspective, I think एक चीज तो clear है, and this is something that I've always stated. Number systems should not be left for CAT. 2 reasons. Number 1, number system के concepts help you estimate when it comes to algebra as well. Substitution और उसमें भी बहुत help करता है अगर numbers का आपके फंडे clear है. Number 2, number system questions come a lot when it comes to ZAT, NMAT and SNAP. So if you anyways have to study number system for these exams, you should surely do it for CAT as well. So again, I'm pointing it out. Even in NMAT, we've just taken it recently. At least I in NMAT got numbers plus modern math, which is PNC, probability and set theory combined. I got roughly around 12 questions from there. यहाँ पे once again we are seeing number system, there were enough number of questions. So please ensure number systems you are focusing on for the upcoming exams as well, because CAT तो अब हो गया, but for ZAT, NMAT, SNAP, please ensure आप उस पे focus कर रहे हो, and same for modern math, and that is very clearly visible. Trapezium again, slot 2 and slot 3 दोनों में आया है. Slot 1 I think there was no trapezium question, but slot 2 and 3 दोनों में there has been a trapezium question, Shashank.
In slot 3, there was a trapezium question. I don't know what's the answer was. And there was a question, very beautiful and very easy question that I liked in the exam. That there is a 4-digit number. Sum of first 3 digits is 15. Sum of last 3 digits is 16. And
Nice.
The tens place is 6 more than the unit place. Find
Oh,
the
हो गया.
difference between largest and smallest number.
Perfect.
So the
So
answer came out to be
you should
811.
start with the unit digit of 1, tens place 7, and then you will just get three possibilities.
No, start with the
1, 2, 3.
thousands place.
No, you
Start with
said
the thousand
tens place. You said tens place is 6 more than units, na?
unit place. हाँ, so
हाँ, तो
basically, but
उससे से शुरू कर लो. यूनिट को 1 अगर ले लोगे, वन
basically,
सेवन टू
GB,
8 3 9, तीन ही पॉसिबिलिटी है.
GB, basically the question is saying that तीन भी नहीं है ना. That's what I'm saying. The sum of first three digits is 15. Sum of last three digits is 16. It means unit place
अच्छा,
has to
एक ही
be
फर्क
one
है.
more than.
ठीक है. या
So
वन
when
मोर.
you start with the first place ना, वो केस ही नहीं बन रहे, दो ही केस बने.
करेक्ट
So
करेक्ट करेक्ट
answer comes out to be 811.
करेक्ट करेक्ट. परफेक्ट. लॉग्स का कौन सा आया था? स्लॉट 1 में इनइक्वालिटीज आया था. स्लॉट 1 इट वाज एन इनइक्वालिटीज क्वेश्चन इन लॉग. व्हाट अबाउट इन स्लॉट 3? वाज इट एन इनइक्वालिटीज क्वेश्चन और डायरेक्ट
No, no,
इक्वालिटी?
no, direct equality question.
So that
So
makes it a little easier. Inequality में you need to do a little bit
no,
of work
no,
as
no,
well.
GB, it was not easy. It was not easy. You
अच्छा.
screwed people. Do you know why?
Why?
Because
हाँ.
first of all, you are getting a cubic equation. You get one factor common, you will cancel it out. ठीक है, वो बड़ी बात नहीं है. Now you get a very ugly quadratic equation. It is talking about sum of
हाँ.
roots. So
Okay.
when you are getting quadratic equation, what you are going to think of sum of roots is going to be minus b by a. Right. But the problem is you have to calculate the roots because one of the roots is contradicting the basic condition of log. Inside log value is getting
Okay.
negative.
Yeah. So this also happened in slot 1. It was an inequality where you will solve a quadratic to get the answer. You will get two answers. When you substitute both the answers into the original equation, both of them do not satisfy because एक में log negative हो जा रहा है, एक में log 0 हो जा रहा है. So actually the answer is 0. The answer was 0 because none of the answers satisfy. So I think somewhat similar then. Somewhat similar.
So basically in log, what we think of I think we have been teaching in log, always teaching in log that whichever value you get, put it into the original equation. If you are not putting it, you are not getting the answer. And this
Absolutely.
exactly happened in this exam.
Got it.
So these kind of questions, these kind of tricky questions we got, and I
Some
think
students are asking. There was a question on sum of altitudes, 48, 48, 30. Was there anything like that? You
126,
remember?
30, 48, 48.
Yeah.
So
Kabir
basically,
Singh has written that. Correct.
so it is saying that the sides of a triangle are 50, 50, and 80. The question is talking about what is the sum of altitudes.
Perfect. So Kabir, you got that right. Then there was question related to AP. T4 plus T7 plus T9 is 99.
The answer is 65.
Sum of 65. 65
Some
is
of
what
the
Shashank is saying. I hope that part is done. 65. Salary of engineers ka answer was 5400. What was that
54,000.
question? I don't know.
54,000. So basically, this is the same question. The average salary, average salary of 5 engineers and 25, sorry, 5 managers and 25 engineers was 60,000. And the salary of managers increased by 25, and because of that, average salary increased by 5%. So what is the average salary of engineers? That's what the question was talking
Got it. किसी का sum of min and max 301 plus 96, square number between 150 and 500. Was there something like that?
That was a very ugly question. That was a very ugly question. So I spent some time in that particular question. I didn't get it. And I thought I needed to write all the perfect squares and then get the answer. No. So basically, I left that particular question.
Okay.
Because try to understand when you say there are three integers and you also say that p lies between 0.3 to 0.7, 0.3 q to 0.7 q. So it means q also needs to be an integer. Now things become very tricky. So you actually need to calculate the value of p. You actually need to calculate value of q. Then you need to figure out, okay, whether it is possible or not. So that's the reason I left that question. I wasted time. There are p plus q plus r is equal to something, some big number, 950-ish type given. GB, I'm sure you would have left that question as well.
I wasn't in slot 3. मिलता तो मैं छोड़ देता for sure.
I'll tell you what was the question. P plus q plus r is equal to 150 and 950. R is a perfect square line between 150 to 500. and P lies between 0.3 to 0.3Q to 0.7Q. What is the maximum value of Q?
0.3Q to
Hmm.
0.7Q. Okay.
What is the maximum value of P?
मैं 2 मिनट के लिए ट्राई मार लेता. The reason being, the moment you say between 150 and 500 and perfect squares, you are basically limiting the number of possibilities. 14 से लेके 21 तक है. And then when you are saying that P is equal to 0.7Q max, और max Q निकालना था कि min Q निकालना था?
Max P निकालना.
Max P निकालना था. So max value of P should only happen as 0.7Q generally. So Q plus 0.7Q to 1.7Q plus one of the
But
perfect
again,
square should be equal to that. तो
but
मेरे को basically
again,
Q ऐसा चाहिए जो 17 से divisible हो. So
हाँ, Q ऐसा
800
चाहिए.
minus, so 800 minus a perfect square should be divisible by 17. थोड़ा इधर उधर करके चेक तो मारता, ट्राई मारता, क्योंकि मेरे को नंबर्स पसंद है. Ideally this question should not be done.
नहीं होना. And you know, and
Let's add that caveat.
so that was so I actually did that. Fine. So in that case, P was not integer. So if
अच्छा.
1.7Q, so it should be 17
Okay.
square, na? It should be
Correct.
17 square.
Correct.
On the right hand side, you have 900. So
Correct.
that
Correct.
is not
Correct.
a multiple of that. So okay, I
Correct.
said okay. Good.
अच्छा, Rich is saying but every option was divisible. Okay, if every option was divisible by 17 तब नहीं करना था. यहाँ तक आके चेक कर लिया, उसके बाद नहीं करना था.
नहीं करना
Trapezium वाला was it 36 root 3? I think couple of
था.
students are asking.
Yes, the answer is 36.
Perfect.
हाँ.
So I think quite a few questions have been discussed in Quant. Hopefully this gives you an overview. Couple of things that I would like to add in Quant. Basis my discussion with GP and Ravi, they're on their way. They've not been able to join. Will
ये
hopefully join in the next
that
10 minutes.
this question, this is a very beautiful question. I would like to take this question. I liked this
Please.
question in the exam, so I'm going to write it. And what was this question? This question I'm writing on the screen. This is x square plus 3x. Sorry, not root. And this is fx. And this is one of the questions that I solved in I think in a minute. So I assume this value is t. So I got fx is equal to t into t plus 2. And question is saying that f of root of fx plus 1. So root of t into t plus 2 plus 1. And that is equal to root of 1971 or something like this. No, 9701. So this value directly comes out to be t plus 1 whole square. So take root. So you are going to get t plus 1. And that is equal to 97. So 9701. So t comes out to be 97. So this becomes what? X square plus 3x is equal to 9700. So here you are directly going to get sum of roots is going to be minus 3. So this was the question that was asked in the exam. Yes. So range. So basically in this question, GB, I think the good score will be anyone who's solving 10 questions and that person is getting 10 questions right.
So good का define कर लेते हैं. I think good is very relative, that word. So I would say sectional cutoff to me would mean roughly say if I'm talking about an 85 percentile, I don't see it crossing 14 marks, 14, 15. It
I
might
would
even
say
be
upper
lesser.
limit is I would say upper limit is 5 questions.
That's why I said I don't see it crossing 14, 15. Hence, less than equal to 15, which means I won't be surprised अगर 12-13 पे भी हो. But yeah,
मुझे तो लगता है
I
11 पे भी आ जाए,
sectional
11 पे भी हो गया, then I won't be
possible.
surprised in this.
So sectional would be that when it comes to quant. If I'm looking at it from the perspective of say a 99 percentile, last year was around 32 or so. This year, I would say at least about one and a half
Maximum
odd
27.
questions. वही बोल रहा हूँ, about at least 1.5 odd questions lesser. 1.5 आप करते हो तो 4.5 mark, which is 27.5, वही 27. So मेरे को at least उतना जाते हुए दिख रहा है, कम last year के मुताबिक. मतलब I don't see it crossing 27 marks. in quant either. So in 99 for 99 percentile. So that should give you a basic understanding. So anybody who has attempted about 5 questions and thinks their accuracy is good and पांचों right हो जाएंगे, there is a good chance you'll score 90 plus. और 5 की और 4 राइट भी हो जाए, there is a good chance कि आप सेक्शनल फिल भी कर लो, 80 तो हो जाना चाहिए. मे बी लखनऊ नहीं हो, बट अदर कॉलेजेस माइट हैपन. सो hence I am saying do not get very overwhelmed, do not get very overburdened by the fact यार मेरे से खाली 4 हुए, मेरे से खाली 5 हुए. Accuracy is going to be the name of the game in this particular paper. If your accuracy is decent, even with 4 to 5 attempts, there is a good chance that you could have done decently well in this particular section. So please keep that in mind. Maybe let's move on to DILR. We also need to skip to the other stream, but yeah, maybe move on to DILR while others join here for verbal. Yeah.
So in DILR, this is the scenario, and in DILR, I would say I might not remember the answers, but I have solved quite a few questions. I think I have solved at least 3 to 4 sets. Now I have gone through 3 to 4 sets. The first
So
one,
maybe not solving the sets here, but just giving an overview of what should have been attempted, what should not have been attempted, I think might help. Maybe if we go to that particular slide of DILR, Shashank, just कि वो sets क्या थे and कौन सा set उठ सकता था and कौन सा set नहीं उठ सकता था. Maybe that might be helpful instead of the percentile slide which is there on the screen right now. Right now percentile slide है. Can we move to the DILR one? Back.
This one.
Yeah.
So the first
maybe
of all, I would
which
say,
set to pick up.
huh?
Maybe start with which set to pick up and all. Yeah.
So basically, anyone who has not picked up the step graph that DI set, that person has lost on a lot of marks. These 4 questions were just pre-medieval. In that circular arrangement set. So in circular arrangement set, then what happened exactly, that you just make the arrangement whatever it is given directly, just try and making the arrangement directly jo diya hai, bas, as it is, write down everything that is written as it is. Now do one thing, start writing, start reading the options. Means in the first question, what are the options that were given? So basically, one of the questions I remember, that who's sitting directly right to B, that was the first question that I got, and there were 4 options and 3 people cannot be possible, so it means the answer should be Ishan. So answer of that question was Ishan. So that was fairly easy, direct, straightforward question. And when you place Ishan, you are going to get the next answer. Then you are going to put the next guy. You are going to get the next answer. Then in the last question, I think it was highly ambiguous. I didn't even understand the question. And in my opinion, that was wrong. That question itself was wrong. Because there was so much ambiguity. What it was asking, it was, I think it asked that which of the following we do and we are going to get a definite arrangement, right? Then that statement didn't make any sense. Second to the right, second to the left, first to the right, first to the left. So there was, I would say, ambiguity. It was it ambiguity, or whether I didn't understand that particular question, or others also did not understand that question. So if no one understood, it means the answer should be wrong, because it was something random, some random statement I was reading. So I think in that particular set, this that was wrong in table based. In export import set, I would say that was not very easy. So basically, this was something, 3 questions I would say were very easy. This, I would say, all 4 were easy. Import export, I would say that 2 questions were easy. If you start writing, if you start making the arrangement Sanat, I don't remember the exact arrangement. I just remember the first one that I solved quickly, and according to that, I solved the other questions as well. Now, import export, the set was tricky. The only thing you are going to get very quickly is the complete arrangement of C. Between P, X, C, and rest of world, you are going to get complete arrangement of C. So there was the first question that was talking about C. How much C is importing in that. So that you can do in 2, 3, 4 minutes. It was easy. There was one more question that how much it has sent to ROW. That was also easy. But apart from that, remaining 3 questions, I think that were not doable. The important condition that was total import should be equal to total export. And I'm not sure how many people have thought of this in the actual exam when you are solving this, because this is the most crucial thing whenever you solve import export question. Then you need to think total import must be equal to total export. So this is what that was the underlying principle of that particular question. Now Varai is asking 5 attempts in DILR. So basically, if I say currency wala set, then okay, I would say I read 5 lines of this, then I thought, nahi, ye to nahi hoga. Fine.
So if I pick
And
up Varahi's question, Siddharth, 5 attempts, I would be very interested in what the accuracy is, because if the accuracy is she gets all 5 right, I will not be surprised if that's actually a 90 percentile. 15
even
marks
I
mein
won't be
90 bhi aa
surprised.
sakta hai. So it will not be a surprise. But yeah, we are hearing that maybe slot 3 was slightly, that's what GP had stated in the first impression, maybe one question easier than slot 1 or something. To sakta hai 90 now 85 ho jaye. But yeah, if you attempted 5 and all are right, I wouldn't worry too much. I think you would still clear the sectionals with ease. But in case एक उसमें गलत होगा, तब वहां पे थोड़ा सा there could be a slight cause for worry, wherein you might be slightly borderline. So 5 is not a cause for worry. Yeah.
So basically 5
Quick,
questions.
some question का answer 3.3. A few of them are writing in the chat box. In case you remember anything, Shashank. I
I
think
got the
DLR
answer as
में हो रहा है.
3.8. I got that answer as 3.8. If I calculated it right, then my answer is 3.8. If I missed out a couple of values, then my answer, and I would say 3.3 is not even a possible answer. If you multiply it by 5, you won't get the answer. There is no integral value if you are going to do 3.3 into 5. That's not even an integral value. I would say okay, it's not possible. So the answer could be 4, answer could be 3.4, answer could be 3.8, 3.3 is rejected directly.
Shashank, which question is this?
Sir, DILR was step wala
Acha.
question we are step
Puzzles वाला होगा हाँ वही puzzle वाला 3.8
3.8 3.8 is okay. Siddharth sir also got 3.8, so I would say the answer is 3.8. Now I'm more confident. Circular arrangement, I don't remember all the answers.
So overall, GP, I think we've discussed quant, we discussed a few questions. We've also discussed a few questions in DLR. In case you all just want to add an overview, because they've heard from Shashank, they've heard a little from me, but mine is third person account. I heard all of you all and I have retailed that. So it's better if there is a first person account from Siddharth and GP a little on DLR and maybe just an overview on quant, because quant also we've discussed.
Okay, the first question is,
and then we can move to verbal.
99 percentile in DILR इसमें कोई doubt नहीं है. Secondly, this is a paper which is on the lines of CAT 21, 22 and 23, where if you have done 2 sets, you have done a terrific job of this paper. Now that said, when it comes to slot 3, to my mind, this is the easiest slot in terms of DILR between the 3. For the simple reason, we have the step graph, which was a 6-7 minute data set. बहुत खींचोगे तो it's a 10-minute data set. Okay? And if you have done this particular graph, then you will be able to solve at least 2 more sets. So this was, so the ours was a and when I and while I have not seen the data sets of the other 2 slots, from what I have heard, this particular graph is probably the easiest data set in the entire 3 slots. If you look at these 15 sets of data, I am willing to say that this is probably the easiest set of data. Okay, but the unfortunate part is ki shakal kharab thi, and many students go by familiarity and how good the graph looks, and then because of that, many students have left this data set. So the step graph easiest but not attempted by quite a few. And if a person has done more than 2 sets or I have done more than 3 sets, 10 के ऊपर सवाल किए तो there's no way he or she would have not done this particular graph. Okay? Without this, and the only data set which I would say which was not worth even looking at was the currency travel. Yes, ये जो है ना ये करने के लायक ही नहीं था, इसको छोड़ देना चाहिए था. This was not worth attempting at all. Okay? इसमें किसी एक में 4 थे टीटा, I don't remember. एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट या करेंसी किसी एक में 4 टीटा थे. I think
export import.
Not 3 टीटा but 4 टीटा. Okay? हाँ, ठीक है. So 4 for 8 and 3 11 theta what were there. Yes. Okay. So वो वाला है इसमें. And again out of the remaining sets, which is export import or that circular arrangement or that the incoming outgoing calls wala though, whichever you pick, 2 out of 3 is something you could have done. And while we could have taken 15 odd minutes per set, they were both doable. All 3 of them were doable. So if you pick up one and are you willing to spend time, you will get the answers. Okay. So वो हो जाएगा उसमें. And to me, the differentiator between a person who does well and who does outstanding is the set number 3 step graph is the differentiator as far as this paper is concerned. Okay. Siddharth, anything you want to add?
No, sir.
Perfect. So I think that's that with respect to the DILR section. GP, your overview for Quant as well, we are done. Shashank, if you need to leave, you can leave because I know that you need to travel. And then we can then move to verbal because we've not covered verbal here till now.
Okay.
No, GP, I'm already home.
So
Quant is, to me, this is a very stupid paper of Quant, frankly. Okay. To me, this is not a paper which is checking anything except your calculator using skills. Okay. So, and if IIMs think that calculator using skills is the most important skill to be developed, so be it. There's nothing you and I can do about it. And the question which were easy also were unnecessarily made difficult or painful. So you would end up doing unnecessary amount of calculations. The beauty of CAT always has been that the focus has never been on calculation. The focus has been on logic and your ability to pick out the right choices. In this paper, both of them were missing. And the focus was, it was almost like JEE, IT JEE paper where you have to do stepwise calculations, stepwise everything. IT JEE ka maths karke aoge, you will probably get a similar feeling. So what cheez thi iska? So to me, which is why I'm saying not a good paper. But given the paper that we have, another reason why I say it's not a good paper is because the range from 85 to 99 percentile probably is a 2 or 3 question or 4 question range only. So in 3 questions, you can jump from 85 percentile to 99 percentile. 3 sahi ki jagah galat ho gayi, you will be on the other side. So a paper which is going to have such a small range is not a good paper because then the fine distinction between students does not ever happen. Okay, then it is very easy to get confused. The same is a problem with it was a problem last year also in DILR. It was such an easy paper that differentiation was difficult because the entire graph was skewed towards the upper end of the spectrum. Okay, but as I said, ये paper हमको इसी से deal करना है. So this paper, if you have done something like 10 questions, बहुत अच्छा काम किया है. This was a paper in which all you need to do was keep looking at the question. आता है तो चुपचाप सर झुका के solve करो, step wise करो, and where required use the calculator. Like a good boy or good girl, please keep solving. School के teacher बहुत खुश होते हैं इसको देख के. बाकी ठीक है. The question, quite a few questions were easy. That was only the length which was an issue. Okay, because I have a habit that I want to look at all questions, so I was not solving all questions till the end. I was saying, अच्छा ये हो गया छोड़ो क्योंकि I had the hangover of the first 2 slots की paper lengthy है तो इसलिए मैं solve नहीं करता. Just make sure I look at all 22 questions which I was able to do. So quite a few easy questions, but all the questions were lengthy. I am still thinking was there any question which was short which could you do for? हाँ वो था. Shashank has gone, but Shashank से discussion हो रहा था that A to C to B, a person is traveling from A to C via B, and that was a question which you could do orally also, or that was the only CAT kind of a question I would say जो lengthy नहीं था, logic पे काम कर रहा था, and calculations were not being checked.
Answer याद है क्या GP आपको उसका? You remember that question?
It should be 180 into 5 by 4 and 180 into 7 by 5 and 5 by 7. Sorry?
444.
4 4
4
4
Yes.
मेरा भी आया,
I got
मैं
3
मेरा भी
marks.
वही आया, डरते डरते बोल नहीं रहा था।
आज का पेपर ऐसा ही है,
लैंग्वेज
आज का
कंफ्यूजिंग
पेपर
थी,
ऐसा ही है।
बाकी सब इजी
नहीं
था।
बट आज का पेपर ऐसा ही है, सुबह मैं भी
But
था,
Gautam,
2-3
मेरे को
क्वेश्चन
पूरे
बोले
22
नहीं।
सवाल में कई, out of these 22 questions, this is the only logic question which I found, which you can apply logic, you will get it fast. You don't apply logic, निकल आएगा, लेकिन मेहनत लगेगी. Most of the other questions और मेहनत करो, अच्छे बच्चों की तरह लगे रहो, मुन्ना भाई की तरह था ये.
Yeah.
ठीक है.
Perfect. So overview of quant and DILR done. Maybe get into verbal a little, and then Ravi, you could also add elements. I think Shashank discussed close to about 12-13 quant questions with their answers. तो students ने फिर बोला sir please बंद करो, डर लग रहा है अब थोड़ा. So then we stopped a little. So then we stopped a little. Then LRDI में गए, a couple of sets were discussed. Though one interesting thing which I found was there are a couple of students who are saying that वो incoming outgoing वाला set easy था.
Yeah.
There
So
were 2
as
to
I
3
said,
students who stated that.
during
Difficult
the
तो नहीं
first
था.
stated incoming outgoing, I didn't have enough time to spend on that set, so I couldn't do it. So I was not the correct judge for that question. But the other two
I
4
don't think वो
sets,
difficult था, it was doable, हो रहा
yeah.
था.
Gautam,
That was also 4 question set क्या? ये
हाँ.
वही
all
is among the
So
4
that
questions.
brings us
Okay.
to-
Okay.
brings us back to the same position that all the 3-4 question sets were on the doable side, while the 5 question sets were a little
So that still
demanding.
holds true.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. So maybe I'll just move the slide to the verbal part. We've not really covered verbal here, you know. So maybe Siddharth, GP, Ravi, you all could just add. Yeah.
रसिका, क्या मैं कहा, इस रसिका के ले लेते हैं. Rasika, and I'm sure if you have talked to your friends by now, you have realized it was the same for practically everyone. After verbal, everyone would have gone through the same process. Okay? Painful. I would say this is a painful paper.
Absolutely.
But Rasika, I'm quite don't be surprised if you end up getting a good percentile. Okay? At low scores you will get a high percentile is what, and to me the differentiator in this paper is not going to be quant and DILR, it is English VARC which will be the differentiator, because in this paper you can get 40, 45, 50 in English without too much of an effort. Okay, and the gap between students in DILR and verbal and quant is not going to be huge, even if you get something like 45 between the two sections, DILR and quant.
GP, it's basically what you're saying. The sum total of DILR and quant might be less than equal to what you score in VARC.
Absolutely, but Gautam, supposing you get 14 DILR and quant, 20 each, you have cleared the sectional cutoff, and you get 45 in quant, and in verbal you will be 99 plus.
Aram
So to me, this paper is the differentiator in this paper is verbal, quant and DILR 6-7-8 सवाल सही कर लिए, you are safe. Don't worry about this.
And even there are a few, even if you've attempted 4 or 5 now and you've got good accuracy, sectionals, I'm quite sure there is a very high chance you could clear sectionals in quant and DILR. Even 4 to 5 questions might be enough to clear your sectionals. So don't worry too much about it. As long as you've gotten that 4 or 5 accuracy, ठीक है. Like GP's been saying, verbal is going to be the differentiator. तो वो differentiator section पे बारे थोड़ा बात कर लेते हैं. Over to you, Siddharth. Maybe you could start.
Yeah, I will start with the RC first. So I think RC एक slide पहले है इसके.
Sorry, my bad. Just give me a second. I thought अच्छे मोड पे स्टार्ट करते हैं. Verbal हर जगह अच्छा गया, तो I thought maybe start with verbal.
I think RC was the easier part in this slot. GP, what do you say? Out of RC
it was easier than verbal. अच्छा.
Yes, verbal 5 out of 8 were doable. When you look at this paper, verbal, the 2 odd statements I found them difficult. Sentence placements were easy. Summary were easy. One tangible I found easy and one I found difficult. So my thing is 5 out of 8, or worst case 4 out of 8 should be on. And if you do 4 out of 8 out here, we are talking about how many? 12 marks in any case. Okay? And when it comes to RC, frankly, I did not find any speed breaker anywhere, whether in terms of the questions or in terms of the passage. So to me, for me, the first passage was dams. The next one was, I think, artificial intelligence. तो उस पे गया तो लगा थोड़ा सा मेहनत करा रहे हैं कि ये But the moment I went to the third passage, tribal artist and the forest official, and the fourth was tribal artist, लगा यार नहीं ये normal आसान है ये. So I would say it was an easy paper of इसके अंदर. I see if you look at it this way, there are passages where getting 3 out of 4 questions right was not difficult. In this paper of RC, 16 questions if you attempt, you can get about 12 right. So to that extent, I will agree with Siddharth. This was possibly easier RC as compared to verbal. Okay? Because verbal is going to be 4 out of 8 or 5 out of 8. This can be definitely 10 out of 16, if not more.
Yeah, so the comparison, because I'm seeing that in the chat box,
yeah,
a lot of students are trying to compare. Maybe the comparison can be done in the next session. So I'll just ask the students, please join the comprehensive one at 9:30 to compare slot 1, 2 and 3. Please don't ask Kabhi sir slot 1 में तो difficult था, वो बाद में कर लेंगे. Yeah, over to you Siddharth Ravi.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I felt from a
I think a
strategic
lot of the students. Yeah, Ravi, you speak. Yeah, go ahead.
I felt in the RC section, no, in the VARC section, from a strategic point of view, there are some students who will go for the kill say कि मैं पूरा 24 questions I will try to read and I'll
वही
attempt
बोल रहा
20 out of 20, right? There are some students who will say okay मैं 3 RCs पढ़ूंगा, 3 RCs ही करूंगा और फिर एक VA करूंगा. Some others go with a combination of 2 RCs plus VA. I think in either कोई भी strategy उठा ले इसमें, they would have felt that they have picked the correct questions only. मतलब ऐसा नो आरसी वाज ऐसा एकदम दुनिया बदल दी जज्बात बदल गए वाला आरसी नहीं था कोई भी, राइट? दैट सेंस कि मूड ही खराब हो जाए. नो, आरसीस वर इजी टू रीड. मोस्ट ऑफ द आरसीस वर इजी टू रीड, बट अगेन वो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस वाला एक पैसेज छोड़ के जिसमें क्वेश्चंस के ऑप्शंस वर वेरी लेंथी, द अदर्स are your regulation double negative, triple negative kind of questions or inference kind of questions. And one odd RC, I think forest of a dams wala RC had a question about what is the main idea broken down into 4 parts.
That's right.
Right? It was an easy pick from the options also. मतलब दिख रहा था 4 पैराग्राफ में जो चीजें बोल रहा है वो 4 एक ऑप्शन में दिख रहे थे. So in that sense, once you had read the RC, it was not very difficult to answer the questions or eliminate options. But yes, it is not a paper in which an average student would have finished all 24 questions. वो जो 24 on 24 from the first mock to the last mock, वो strategy वाले जो लोग हैं, people who have been scoring upwards of 35-40ish in the mocks and all, those people would have finished all 24 questions in this paper. But because of the sheer length of the options in one odd passage, right? But otherwise, I felt comfortable in the RC section because I did not see Socrates, I did not see Aristotle. I think Aristotle एक जगह आया था फिर भी, but
हाँ वो आया था ना उसमें क्या कहते हैं ये एथिक्स वाला जो था लास्ट पैराग्राफ वाले में था, लास्ट पैराग्राफ में या फिजिक्स से कंपेयर करना था.
करेक्ट. बट आई डिड नॉट सी पैरेलल्स, मतलब वो जो गंदे वाले पैरेलल्स होते हैं ना कि
नहीं, बट रवि वो तब तक वो पैसेज खत्म हो गया था, वो तो खाली नहीं भी डालता तो भी समझ आ गया था पैसेज पूरा.
करेक्ट. तो उसमें
यूटिलिटी प्रॉब्लम बस उनको हुआ होगा जो वो माइंडसेट से जाते हैं ना कि 2 ही बनाऊंगा या 3 बनाऊंगा. इट वाज परहैप्स मोर देन दैट.
This was a paper in which you should have done, if not 24 out of 24, maybe 20 out of 24. This was a paper. Actually, my paper was over verbal paper, and I keep writing. It was over in 38 minutes. Despite the fact for every question I was writing, क्या आंसर है, आंसर कैसा है, easy, medium, difficult. Broadly, मैं इसके बारे में लिखता हूँ हमेशा. So to me, it was not a lengthy paper, and Ravi is absolutely right. If you went with a strategy कि I'll do 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, you have made a big mistake in this paper.
Or there were 2 questions meant for Shashi Tharoor also. Vocab page.
हाँ वो कौन सा है वो 200 वालों में था.
हाँ
बट वो कॉन्टेक्स्ट में समझ
There was one in slot 1.
They were contextually on point, definitely yes. Contextually you could figure it out कि बोलना क्या जा रहा है. But
एक तो डैम्स वाले में था ना कि there was that huge dams instant कुछ था यार, मेरे को
and one utilitarianism.
utilitarian, ये दो वाला. But English is fine.
coming to the verbal
I will leave it for the 9:30 part, but it wasn't so fine for slot 1. Hearing y'all, I can understand why the slot 1 people in the chat box are a little worried. But normalization will help.
But the normalization will take care.
Yeah, that's what.
and then
हाँ, verbal पे मैं जाता हूँ. Yeah.
So वर्बल में ऑलरेडी हम लोग बोल चुके हैं. खैर इसमें मेरा जो है इसमें कि वर्बल में 4 out of 8 और 5 out of 8 is what one should have been looking at इसके अंदर. And
मुझे पैराजम्बल्स डिफिकल्ट लगे थे दोनों.
पैराजम्बल्स वर डिफिकल्ट.
More than parajumble, I was stuck with odd statement. At least in one of them. पैराजम्बल भी में से दोनों हो गए थे.
वाला मेरे को लग रहा था कि पता नहीं क्या है.
हाँ
नहीं, इन ऑड स्टेटमेंट मेरे को वो जो म्यूजिक वाला है वो मेरे को नहीं चमका कि कौन सा ऑड है, बट सी और ऑक्सीजन वाला जो था
वो तो
वो हो गया था. सी ऑक्सीजन वाला किया था. That's right.
उसमें रॉक्स का कोई पॉइंट था, मेरे को वो लगा कि बैठा नहीं है यहाँ पे. आई फेल्ट दैट वाज गलत भी हो सकता हूँ, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, टीटा है.
मेरे ख्याल से मेरा आंसर अलग है इससे.
Maybe. But I felt both summaries were easy to comprehend and eliminate, and both sentences
sorry रवि, इसमें best thing was अगर 20 वाली strategy लगाओगे सब निकलते हैं. If you look at elimination of choices in verbal and in RC and para summary, you are very easily able to get the answers.
Absolutely. I mean, both sentence placements was also, I mean, in one odd I got confused कि position 3, position 4 क्या होगा, but I think they could not have been the start or could not have been the context.
वो दोनों में नहीं था.
Correct. Right. So it was a 50-50 chance in both of them, but it was easier only to identify. Parajumble, I was able to find link statements, but I was not able to find what is the starting statement. In both of these, link statement तो मिल जा रहा था, starting क्या होना चाहिए वो, that I was not able to figure out in parajumbles. But yes, I think 4 to 5 out of these 8 could have been done. People who have given enough
here and around 30 in the RC, 42 plus तो रहना चाहिए सर 99 का.
हाँ, I would not be surprised if that becomes 44, 45 also. But 42 plus definitely.
Right.
ठीक है. तो चलो, इसमें anything else we need to add or we can close the session?
We can close, sir.
चलो, let's close the session. थोड़ी देर में we have to come back again for that overall comparison of the 3 slots. Okay.
Yeah.
ठीक है. So we'll close the session then. Good night. Not good night. We'll take a break. Interval हुआ है. खाना खा के वापस आना हमको.
Stay tuned, guys. 9:30 we are back.